Hi guys, Gretchen here, Pawsom Fun and Frugal. Jumping back on here to it's a weird shadow, my eyebrows. Anyway, jumping on here to distractions. Just to say hi and update you. There's not much more in terms of what's happening with my mobile home. I have a new attorney, or a couple new attorneys I'm supposed to talk to next week. So I'll have more updates about that after next week, after next Thursday. I also have a meeting for Mobile Home Commission for my area next week as well. So I will, it's a little dark in here. I thought the light was, that's a little better. So that's as far as I've gotten. Is I got a call from a social worker because I had attempted to file a report for adult abuse because of the way that my park owner verbally speaks to people. He's very abusive when he speaks to especially the women in the park. I may have mentioned that already. But then he lies about it later, and because there's no documentation, they couldn't really prove enough for like a restraining order or something. But I did speak to the sheriff's department, and they clarified to me that it doesn't matter whether he's on his property or not, that if he walks up to me and starts verbally attacking me, that I can call the sheriff and they'll take care of it. They don't care what property he's standing on. He had us thinking that he could act any way he wanted to because this is his property. The park is his property. And he does things like walk up on our space to say something to us without notice, without warning. And if we aren't compliant with him, he gets irate. And he usually does it when there's nobody else around, and then when he's called out about it later, he lies and says he never said it, or he doesn't remember that happening, of course. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know where I am in the process, and that I appreciate all of your support so much. I have gotten way more views than I even expected on this video. I wish my other videos got this much attention, and I'm really sorry that it has to be this negative thing that brings all this attention. I have cooking videos for people with food allergies and food sensitivities, and for people on a really tight budget who might benefit from the food banks. I've shared lots of videos about that stuff, food bank hauls, and what I've made out of the free food. I also have van life videos, and I like to share what my experience is trying to do part-time van life with health issues. And I try to share with people like what works for me, and everyone's different. What works for me to be able to do a little bit of van life. And I like to tell people that my van is like my motel on wheels, hotel on wheels, or whatever, because I have it set up like that. And it all started because it was an easier way to visit my kids who don't have quite enough space for me to stay comfortably in their home, especially after I had my injury and have these health issues, that it's been harder for me to be comfortable on a couch or somewhere, so I can set my van up the way I need it. and I can pace myself, and I have all sorts of strategies on how I deal with my chronic pain, fibromyalgia when I'm on the road, and my other health issues. So check out those videos. Some of them might be interesting. This one, and the one I'm talking about specifically is the last video about my mobile home, the buyer beware thing. I also posted on my Facebook and Instagram. I really just want people to know to be careful when they consider buying in a mobile home park. Because of, if you watch my last video, you'll know why. So if you're not sure, go back and watch that. I don't want to go over the whole thing again. I do want to mention that like I said, I am so grateful for all the outpouring of support and kindness that I have gotten. But I've also gotten a few comments that were, a couple that were sort of borderline rude. I think it's important that if you have advice for me about mobile home parks, that you let me know that whether or not you have updated knowledge and information about California mobile home parks. I am in California. We have a mobile home residency law book. I'll even show it to you. Everything you need to know if you live in California and you live in a mobile home park. This should be your Bible. Even when I started in 2012, and I've been living in this mobile home since 2012. First one I ever bought, I got the mobile home residency laws. This one they've remastered it to make it easier to read. The real one that comes from the state, the real copy, is all crammed together in small words, and it's hard to pick out what you're looking for and understand it. This is sort of restructured to make it easier to read and get through. So I'm asking that if you want to give me advice, please have advice that is really helpful, that maybe I don't already know out of that book. There's also rules and regulations that the park owners are allowed to create, and for the most part they have to follow these laws. So when they make their rules and regs, they're supposed to make them in line with these laws. Unfortunately, and it happens every time they update these, someone figures out, like I did, that there's loopholes. There is subjects that just aren't discussed. So the parking issue that I'm having with the park owner is claiming I'm supposed to have a minimum of 2-car parking, that each unit is supposed to have a minimum of 2-car parking. My unit is a very small 1-bedroom, has only had space for 1 parking. The conflict is that he made a rule in the rules and regs. There is no law about parking, so he was able to create an arbitrary rule, and he can decide to enforce it or not, or to make exemptions or not. He's not willing to make me an exemption. My theory is that it's because he's really pissed at me because I've turned him into to HUD or HCD. California has Housing and Urban Development. It's actually the government HCD, but it's the division out of Sacramento for California. So each state has different laws and regulations on property rights and mobile home, apartments, whatever. So I can only go by this booklet, this mobile home residency laws and the rules and regs, and I have to match them up. And I have to follow, there's only so many things that HCD helps you with. They have a mobile home protection program that helps you with things that they're clear violations or conflicts. So what's happened is we got past the first rights thing that he tried to claim. He backed off on that and denied ever saying it because it was a phone conversation he had with my potential buyer at the time. Now it's the parking issue. So I want to say to the people who are giving very strong advice about what I should and shouldn't do to please know what the rules and regs and laws are before giving advice. Unless you're an attorney or a property owner and you know this stuff, it's not helpful to tell me. One of the comments was that why didn't I just stop complying and sell it myself? I can't do that. Let me see. We will go over these. And I'm not gonna, I know people are trying to be helpful. I understand. Sometimes we think we're being helpful, but we're not. We don't realize we're not. So I have lots and lots of comments, more comments than any other video. So one person said, stop complying with them. Pull your mobile home out of this park and store it until you can sell it yourself. Well, I don't have the money. You have to pay a $10,000 bond, an insurance bond, in case you damage something in the park when you're pulling it out. You have to give him a $1,000 deposit or something. There's all these charges, most of which you get back. You have to buy permits. You have to apply for the permits and wait for those. And then he can, then we have to arrange it with him because it's his property as to when a good time, because they have to notify other residents that this big work is being done. Then I have to have a place to store it, which would cost money. And I am on a fixed income. There's no way I can afford to store it somewhere. If I was going to do that, I would buy a piece of property to put it on and still live in it and fix it. But you can't do that. So thank you for that suggestion, but it's not helpful. The other thing was that a couple people were upset about my music that I chose for the video. I'm sorry if that music was offensive to you. I was picking music that kind of went with the mood of the video. I'm sorry if it was annoying to some of you. I can't go back and change it. That would mean I have to delete the video and recreate it without the music. I'm not willing to do that. I mentioned earlier, I'm disabled. I struggle even to use the computer. Thank goodness for all the talk to text and accessibilities that they have now, because I use quite a bit of them so that I can even do these. Someone else said to pick and choose my battles. I'm not sure what they meant by that. I do that with every part of the situation and everything in my life. I don't want to pick fights with anybody. I am a peace-loving, I'm a Santa Cruz hippie. I just want life to be calm and peaceful and serene. I never asked for this, and I just wanted to sell my house and move closer to my daughter so that I can age without the stress of worrying about losing my finances and my home, because in a couple years I may not be able to afford to live here anyway, and I may have to just walk away from the place. So I'm trying to sell it now so I don't have to do that and lose out on any money. And that's what he wants, is me to just give up and walk away. So let's see. Thank you for the prayers. And again, I'm sorry about the music. Sorry that you're bothered by the music. And someone asked about community guidelines. Those are the rules and regs that I just showed you. And this person said, unless I'm up for some legal fees or find one to work on a contingency, you're probably stirring a pot that you won't be able to cook. Step back, regroup, and think of a new approach. I have contacted every agency, and California has quite a few agencies that help people like me in these situations. I have HCD looking into some of my other complaints about the park. I had a lawyer from California Rural Legal Assistance that was helping me cost-free. She's the one that backed him down from the whole idea that he had the first right to refuse to buy the place. But since he was verbal about most what he said over the phone to the buyers, some of the stuff she couldn't prove were violations. And stepping back to regroup, there's not much regrouping to do. I can't sell the place in the park. He won't allow that, and he'll fight me harder on that than he will pulling it out. So, and I already went through that in 2018. I tried to sell it in the park, and that was a big fight, and I gave up. So my only other approach would be if this new lawyer, so I have another organization that is supposed to call me next week, see if the attorney can help me. If they can't, then I may have to just give up and hope that I can make it another few years here. But I don't know. And I'm sorry for all of you other mobile home people who have been through this or going through this. You know how painful, especially in California, you know how hard this is. And how hard it is to stay living in the park when your park owner is like mine. Someone asked if I could sublet. No. You can allow family members to stay no more than 30 consecutive days with you. You can't rent out your mobile home. He has the right to make that choice, whether to allow residents to rent them out or not, and he's made the choice that we can't do that. So that's in the rules, and the laws give him that right. So, and then I had one commenter who probably can't see this because my answer to him was just to report him and them, him, her, I don't know. So this person came on and tried to make it about a racial thing. He made a very rude racial comment, politically charged racial comment regarding my situation. That has zero to do. It has zero to do with race or culture or politics. This is a civil legal matter. That's it. It has nothing to do with what color I am, what race I am, or what where I came from, any of that. So this person got immediately reported and blocked. I don't have time for drama. Like I said, I'm a peaceful person. I just want peace. I just wanted to share my story with you all. So if you stayed through that video, thank you so much. Even those of you who didn't like the music must have watched it, so thank you. And I'm grateful for all the new subscribers. But like I said, I have much more positive videos on my channel. In fact, I have these two little cute dogs. They're on most of my shorts. They're on some of my longer videos. I've had a couple cats. I no longer have them. My older cat, she passed away a few months ago. But I have some old cat videos of Sparkle and her adventures, and maybe a couple with Luna back in the way old videos of my son's cat Luna. But I have these two dogs. I had another dog last year, passed away. And I have a newish puppy. I got him before the end of last year. And they're very cute. And the puppy's quite a character and likes to dog talk. He likes to argue. So if you want to check out my little shorts, those are fun and positive. And that's what I'm hoping to get back to. I probably won't do too many more of these. I just wanted to get my story about this out, in hopes that it helps somebody else. I wish I had known someone like me when this started for me. I've been blessed. I have met someone like me that's been through this. She actually is our representative for the Mobile Home Commission, and I'll be seeing her again next week. We email back and forth, and she's been really helpful. So I have some support, and my doctors have been really concerned and making good notes about how this is affecting me. I've had an increase in some of my health symptoms. Also have what I think is another round of long COVID because I had COVID. So thank you for watching. I hope that, I don't want to be too hard on anybody, but please, if you're going to comment, please try to come from a place of having some information that you think is legitimate and has some research behind it, and so that it would be really helpful. So far, most of the suggestions, I've already been there. This has been going on since February of this year, and this is where it is. So, and please don't make this about any negative things about people. I'm not trying to trash even my park owner. I understand that he has a lot of properties to deal with. I'm sure being a property owner has a lot of stress in itself. I have compassion for, his life must be difficult for him to be such a mean person. They say that hurt people hurt people. And I am not in any way trying to harm him or hurt them. It's actually a family business. It's him and his sister. So the Vieiras are a family business. And I understand it's complicated and it's a lot of work. But that's not my problem. That shouldn't fall on me. He shouldn't neglect or abuse his residents because his life is hard. It's just not okay. I'm just hoping this gets resolved and that soon I can give you a more positive update. So just keep your thoughts and prayers for me. Thank you.